Well, we are just getting going here this morning. Figured I haven't done one of these feeding videos in a while. We've got some new viewers that have joined in with us, so we might as well start this video off feeding cows. It is just before 3 a.m. We got a nice light covering of snow overnight. We had about an inch or two already, and we got another inch or so. It's a nice, calm morning. It's maybe, I don't know, 15 degrees or something. It's rather pleasant. So we might as well go ahead and get started. We'll get these mixers loaded up, and then we'll join up with you guys once we get over into the barns feeding these cows. Well, we've got one more ingredient to put on the mixer from the commodity shed. We just dumped our protein mix on. That's in this bay. We've got cottonseed over in the bay to the left. And then these two other bays have ground up corn in them, otherwise known as cornmeal. We will grab our mineral pack, dump that on one of the mixer wagons after we get this bucket load on. We'll engage the PTOs on both mixers to get them mixing. Then we'll dump our corn silage on. That'll be the last ingredient going into both mixers. And then we will feed one off at a time. So right to my right here, I don't know if you guys can see it, there is a list that has the ingredient amounts for each mixer wagon, and I can utilize that so I know how much to put on each mixer wagon. You do it enough, you can kind of memorize that number. But we do have a nutritionist that balances the ration, and every so often we have to change the amount of ingredients that go into each load. So it is important to look at it from time to time and try not to go off of memory. There's a scale on the mixer wagon. Both mixer wagons have a scale on them, and there's a monitor that I'm looking at right on the front of the mixer. Talking a little bit here, it's taking me a little longer to get her dumped on there. So, alright, we'll go over to the other one, put the cornmeal on that one, and we'll grab our mineral pack. Again, I have showed this feeding process for quite a few years here on the old YouTubes. It doesn't change really, but we have had a few new viewers come into our circuit here, so I figured I would explain things today like we've never done a video like this before. Oh, 78, 39, 11, 7. Need another. Yes, all right. Alright, this is our last bucket load. We don't need the whole load. We don't need all of it. We only need like 5,700 pounds. The bucket holds about 7,000 pounds of corn silage here. Let the scale catch up for a hot minute. Yeah. Alright, now we got both of them loaded. We're going to feed the one off to our left first. So we'll run on over, shut that PTO off on that 7200. And we'll grab the smaller mixer wagon. Alright, we're just coming into this first barn with a load of feed. We've got 3 barns to go into with this load. There's only one group in this one that we feed. So we'll dump some feed here and then we'll roll over into them other 2 barns. Windows are getting foggy. This tractor's real cold. It's a lot warmer in the barn than it is outside. Windows are fogging up a little bit. Just a little bit more to dump off here. Getting a little squirrely. Can't see that good. Alright, so we will back on out of here, lower our door, get over into that other barn. It's 7 degrees out right now, so it's actually colder than I originally thought. I also get the question, you know, how many remotes do you have in the tractor? Well, we've got like 4 or 5 in here. They're all labeled for each door. Got them clipped on a rail right there and sitting right here. So we'll go ahead and go right into this other barn and get them fed off. Alright, so we just pulled into this third barn with this first load. We've got one group way down here on the left to feed. So we end up, a guy gets here before I start feeding. He cleans out all the feed alleys. So we clean the feed alleys every day, and then fresh feed goes down. A friend of mine, actually there's a couple guys come and get it. A couple friends of mine come and get our refusal feed, and they feed it to their beef cows, and that works out good for us. We don't have to spread the feed onto the field. So this group to our right, they're going up to the parlor right now. They're walking over to a drover's alley that runs the whole length of the barn. They're loading into the parlor now. We'll have one more load to mix for the cows, and then all of the milk cows will be fed after the next group of loads I mix. we didn't get too far with load number 2. That's 7,200. It's got a fuel rail pressure problem. It falls right on its face. The load that's on this mixer wagon, I just reloaded onto the other one. This was doing a regen. It's done doing that now. So, and we're fully loaded. We got 32,000 on. And it has trouble starting the PTO anyhow. And now it's wanting to do a regen again. It's activated that. See, it falls on its face. It'll dip right down, come right back up. Of course, it's Saturday morning. We're gonna have to have Kaz come and look at this. So being it's doing a regen, we're just gonna leave it here for now and use just that other mixer wagon. What we're probably gonna have to do, I mean, we can do a couple basic things ourselves. What we're probably gonna have to do is pull the duals off that 8360 and put that on it. So that's what we'll be doing when we get done feeding here this morning. We'll be jerking around with that damn thing. Alright, we're getting over in the barn with this second load of feed a little late. So we're gonna have to move along to catch up. Alright. Alright, we're feeding off load number 3 now. Into the second barn, gotta go over into the third barn yet, and this group to our right is now into the parlor. We'll have to back out of here. This barn is in behind the parlor. We can only go in one end of it, and we have to back out. The left-hand side of this barn is dry cows. That load that's on that other mixer will go to these cows if it'll dump off. If not, we'll have to load up another one. We've got heifers to our left, more dry cows as well. And then this section right here is what's on this mixer is where we're gonna feed. And now all of the milk cows will have feed into them or in front of them. We've got to bring another load to this group here after we get dry cows fed. That other mixer wagon, when we get done feeding, if that does not want to run, the load that's on that is the same batch that we feed last in the morning, and it also is the same batch that we could feed this group here if we can dump it off. For some odd reason, I had that 8360 on my mind. That is not going to be the tractor that we would swap out with the 7200. We could just swap it out with the 7290. For some odd reason, I was not thinking clearly. That would be silly to have to take duals off of that 8360. The 7290 is right out back on a manure pump. The only problem is I hate feeding cows with IVT transmission. You know, some guys love it, but I hate it. We've had the 7930 on the mixer before, and it ain't no fun. So this mixer's empty. We'll go over and see if that other one will run good enough to get it empty. And go from there. Okay, so we'll see if anything has changed for the better on this tractor. I wouldn't be concerned. I would just continue with that other one. But this one has got the load on it that I need for that next group. It's still doing a regen. We'll crank up some RPMs here, engage the PTO. Didn't like that. No, it don't like it. So, yeah, we'll load up the load that is on this mixer wagon, or the ration rather. We'll have to load onto the other one and dump this one off at the end of the morning with a different tractor. All right. Well, we've got load number 4 going in now. You guys kind of understand the concept here now. These guys are just about out of feed, but that one load that I fed in front of them had to go to a couple different spots. So the load got down a little small there towards the end. So we'll deal with that tractor problem on that other mixer wagon when we get done feeding everybody here this morning. And yeah. We are now on to mixing the feed up for the dry cows. These rations are a little different. We do feed baled hay to the dry cows, and we've got one heifer batch that gets a little baled hay as well. Milk cow loads, they don't have any dry hay. Go into them. These two rations are slightly different from each other. One ration we feed to the dry cows that have just been recently dried off, and then the other batch of dry cow feed that we mix up goes to the close-up dry cows. Those are cows that are going to freshen in the next couple 2-3 weeks, within 2 to 3 weeks to present. Yeah, usually we dry off a cow about 6 weeks before she's going to have, 6 to 8 weeks before she's going to have her calf. Well, we have a load of dry cow feed on now. We're going over into barn 9. The kids are up here moving animals from one side to the other so that they can go in with the vac truck and clean it out. So they're up here now, truck included. And we've got dry cows in 2 groups up here, one on each side. So it looks like they've got this left feed alley moved over, and the vac truck has already been in. That's just leaving now, and the door's getting closed on that other end. So we've got dry cows to our right, and then past, they don't go all the way down through. It only goes down about 50, 60 feet here. And we've got dry cows on the other side. So there is three of them up here cleaning barn: Andrew, Madison, and Teddy. I'm actually moving this one group of heifers this way, putting them in on the stall section so that that truck can come in. Andrew and Teddy right there, and Madison scraping across over. Alright, we'll back up here and move over. I gotta feed this side now. Well, we are down to the last couple loads of feed that I have to mix up, and those loads will be going over into barn 8 and barn 9. These two rations have baled hay in them as well, and then we'll deal with getting that tractor situated on the mixer wagon. We've got to swap it out with another one and dump that load of feed off. So we're doing pretty good for time, considering being broke down with that one tractor. So it is what it is. So that tractor's got it's got over 10,000 hours on it. Been kind of a problem child here and there. The 7200, that is the smallest 7000 series tractor, and it's just not the greatest of tractors. Kind of gutless, but it does work decent size wise and weight and heftness to have on that mixer. However, it lacks about 25 horsepower. The mixer's a little big. So we'll load this one up and then load the next one up, and then we can swap out tractors. Well, the sun is starting to come up. It is, well, it's about quarter after 7. They've got this heifer barn just about cleaned, about done with it. Andrew had too. He used the spreader in the heifer barns across the road. They couldn't vacuum the manure up because it is slightly frozen, and the vac truck doesn't work that great on that, so they're scooping it up with a skid steer and dumping it in that spreader. So that's what he's down doing now. This is the last load that's going to go in this barn, and we've got one more load to feed in the barn over to our right. So all these remotes are labeled, like I was saying earlier, for the appropriate door. And then there's some of the remotes we're able to do a few doors with. Just because the barns are far enough away from each other, you can open an east door on one end and a west door on the other end of two different buildings. Well, this is our last load that we have to feed. Well, it's the last load we loaded just recently here. Well, we just got this load loaded up. We'll go on in and feed it off. They are cleaning this section here with the vac truck. We don't have alley scrapers on this one section in this barn, so they clean it with a vac truck. Get the door opened up over there. They'll go ahead and pull in and vac that side out. He's got this side here already done. He moved them more to the far side first. And that way, if the mixer wagon snuck in on him, if he'd have cleaned that side first, he would have a hard time getting the animals to go from this side to the other side, because they would have feed in front of them. So we'll dump this off. We've got to put fuel in this tractor and then swap out tractors on that other mixer wagon and feed that load off. Well, we'll go on a little walk here and grab the tractor that we need, which is on a manure pump on the other side of that barn over there. So, we'll grab that, get them switched out, and we can feed that load of feed off. It's a nice quiet day here. Got a little bit of a breeze blowing, but it ain't too bad. It's a little cold, but it's winter, right? Yeah. Well, there's the horse we need right there. Hopefully the shaft ain't froze to the tractor. Hopefully the telescoping part of it slides. And I hope it starts. It has not been plugged in. Well, I was able to get the power shaft unhooked and the hoses. Now, hopefully it starts. Well, we have liftoff. Now I gotta take this down to the shop, and we need to swap the power shaft over to a large shaft. So let's get down there and get that done. Well, the GoPro camera's too cold. That kicked off. Jared's up here now giving me a hand. We had to swap the power shaft over on this tractor to a large 1000. That we pulled the quick hitch off of it just so that it wouldn't end up eating this PTO shaft. That we had to adjust the drawbar on the tractor as well. We're probably going to have to jack this up a little bit. That tractor's got 46s on it. This has got 50s. So I don't know if it's taller or not. We're going to see. Yeah, the GoPro is too cold. So. off the jacket. Alright, put you guys down. Okay, so we are completely hooked up. Had to remove the bracket that holds our remotes out of that tractor and put it in this one. So we've got 32,000 pounds of feed on. We're going to see if this PTO will start. Oh, it starts up with ease. So this tractor's 90 more horse than a 7200, and I thought we were going to have trouble getting the PTO to start. This is 1,000 RPM PTO on this. We do have the option of shifting the tractor into 540 to enable a hard startup or get through a hard startup and work through something like that. So we're having to film this with a freaking phone because the GoPro camera is too cold. So we'll go ahead and take this load in and dump it off, and then we'll close out this video here. Well, as you can see, these guys are out of feed. I'm about an hour behind getting this load, the last load into it. Now we had to goof things around, and this was the first load loaded this morning, but you know, we broke down a little bit. Windows are starting to fog up, so I need to put the phone down and pay attention here. The temperature is moved up from 7 degrees from when we started this morning to 10. And it's quite a bit warmer in the barn than it is outside. And this cold tractor coming in, it just fogged up all these windows. So we better pay attention here. These guys got no feed. Alright, we've got that all fed off. IVT's a little different as far as feeding off with it. It's supposed to be easier, but it's actually a little clumsier. Tractor wants to go just as fast in reverse as it does forward, and that gets all goofy and whatever. But we'll get this parked up, plugged in, and we'll get on with the rest of our day here.